everyone, I was coming to you to let you know that I've made a few changes in our 2013-2014 homeschool year, and I wanted to share with you some of the things that I have done to change up our year. I've been away because I almost got to that point where I had homeschool burnout, but not quite there. But I did find something that I wanted to use and change up to. Well, as some of you know, I have a 5-year-old in kindergarten, and I don't know if some of you know, I was having some doubts about the certain things that I had chosen for her for this year to do for homeschool this year. Well, I did find some things that I changed to. I was thinking about Heart of Dakota. I started thinking about 5 in a Row. Someone suggested My Father's World. And the two that I could not decide between was 5 in a Row and My Father's World Kindergarten. Now, I was trying to find it used. I had a very hard time finding My Father's World Kindergarten used. So I decided to go with 5 in a Row. Let me tell you how I decided to go with 5 in a Row. This is before 5 in a Row and 5 in a Row Volume 1. Well, I am a Charlotte Mason / classical / eclectic type homeschooler, but I lean more toward Charlotte Mason and classical method of schooling because I love rich literature, and my daughter loves to read. She's a bookworm just like I am. And so I decided to go with the 5 in a Row because of the fact that it's literature based and is not as expensive as My Father's World is. And I actually got these books, this one and this one, at a local consignment shop. Well, one of the homeschool moms in my homeschool group here has a consignment shop where she has a homeschool room and she has used homeschool curriculum in that consignment shop. So I went in there one day and saw 5 in a Row there, before 5 in a Row and 5 in a Row in the shop. So I decided to go in and browse and look at the book, and I fell in love with this program. I fell in love because of the fact that it is literature based, and on top of that, it has everything that I need right here. I can get language arts, art, science, social studies, and everything from that, whatever book that we decide to read. For 5 in a Row, you actually read the book, a selected book. They have a book list each day for 5 days in a row. And for each day, you may focus on language arts on one day, you may focus on science one day, you may focus on social studies one day, and just go from there. Now, I am using my own phonics program and my own math program. I was using Matthew C. Primer for my daughter, and when we started out using, which we started at the end of last year using Matthew C., she absolutely loved it, and it actually worked great for her. During the middle part of her lessons, I noticed that she began to just not want to do it anymore. So I decided to, thanks to Mahogany Homemaker, I'm sorry, seeing that she uses Singapore Math, I decided to actually look at Singapore Math. And you know what? I ordered it, and she absolutely loves it. She's excited to do math, and math is not one of my favorite subjects, but she loves it. So I'm using the 5 in a Row for her, for the spine. I'll just say it like that. I am actually using for her phonics, Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. And for math, we have the Singapore Math. And for her science and social studies, we'll just pick something in our 5 in a Row study, and we'll do a science project or activity in this book manual. I also wanted to share with you for the lap booking and note booking that I'm doing for her. I noticed with me having small ones, little ones, a 17-month-old, a 4-year-old, and a 5-year-old, doing lap booking was kind of getting time consuming for me, but I absolutely loved it, and the kids loved it too. So I was reading a blog one day, and they talked about lap book journaling. And what lap book journaling is, it's like you get a 3-ring binder, and this is my daughter's binder, And instead of doing the actual file folders, you're actually doing, it's almost like lapbooking meets notebooking in a binder. And what I did was I actually had different colors of paper, and whatever that was supposed to go in a lapbook, I just kind of put it on one of the sheets of paper that I had. There's a little booklet here that she did. We actually read Caps for Sale this week. The very first book that we're starting. This is our first week rowing our first book, and we did Caps for Sale. And this is her monkey tree, where it has the tree. When I took her thumbprint and I put some finger paint on it, and she made her thumbprints, and she drew the monkey's face and the tail of the monkey, and they have their different hats on, and that's the peddler that was selling the hats. And this is the favorite part of her book, when the peddler was telling the monkeys, you give me back my hats. And the monkeys were like, tis, tis, tis. And they mimicked everything that the peddler did. It was a very, very, very cute book. So that's her notebook, lapbooking journal. And of course, I'm excited about using 5 in a row. And we will continue to do so. And I'll continue to update you on how we're doing. I'm actually combining this with my 4-year-old son, because he wants to do school, but he doesn't care either. He's very, very bright and everything. He already knows a lot. Of course, I do Montessori type based things with him, and I'll do another video sharing with you how he does school. We do a lot of sensory bands, sensory bags, busy bags, things like that, and I'll share with that in another video. Also, I want to show you some of the books that we will be rowing. This is Caps for Sale. I get my book list, and I go to the library and I see what books that they do have and what books that they don't have. And this is one of the books that they do have, is Caps for Sale. We use that from our library. Our next book that we will be rowing will be Blueberries for Sale. We're going to do Blueberries for Sale next week. We're going to read that. I'm very excited about doing Blueberries for Sale. We'll do an activity and we'll have a nice blueberry dessert for our snack at the end of the week. I cannot wait to do this book. And the next book after Blueberries for Sale, for the next week, we will be doing Corduroy. I can't wait to do Corduroy. I love Corduroy. We read this book a long time ago, but my children never really got a chance to just read it every day or 5 days in a row and do an activity that's based on this book. And for the books and for the activities, you can go to homeschoolcreations.com, or it's either .com or .net. And she has a lot of printables with the 5 in a row books, because I think she did 5 in a row with her children also. And she's got printables that you can get on her website. And it's, oh my gosh, it's so many resources and printables that you can use, and lapbook elements and things you can use with the 5 in a row curriculum. And I absolutely love it. Another change that we've done was English for my 5th grader. Okay. My 5th grader in English grammar, I was having such a hard time trying to figure out what I wanted to use with him because of his auditory learning style. He learns by, if you tell him something, he learns it better by just actually giving him a book, having him to read it to himself. You actually have to sit with him and read it to him, and he'll understand it better through hearing it. And I was suggested intermediate language lessons and first language lessons for a well-trained mind, and ride and staff English. So I went and I browsed and I could not decide, and as I was in the consignment store in the homeschool corner, I saw ride and staff English, and I decided to go with the ride and staff English, basically because when I looked at intermediate language lessons, I really didn't like. I really didn't like it. I knew that he would be bored, and this would not work for him. I really wanted to do first language lessons for the well-trained mind, but the only reason that stopped me from first language lessons for the well-trained mind is because it only went up to level 4. And when I looked at the level 4 book, he already knew everything that was in it, and that was going to be taught. So I decided to go with Rod and Staff. And I looked up on this book because this book was like $7 in our consignment store. So I was so excited, and then to actually get my hands on a copy of this and actually read it. They have oral drill, written practice, everything that I need that would help him with his auditory learning style. And when I tell you, this has been a lifesaver when it comes to English grammar for my 5th grader. And I will be sticking. Hi everyone. Okay, I wanted to also show you some of the other things that we're doing. I also changed out his literature to my 5th grader. This is Beyond 5 in a Row. I found this also on one of the used curriculum sites. And the reason why I decided to change his literature is because of the simple fact my son was just reading just to be reading, and his comprehension, it was just not there. I think he was doing it on purpose though. But now with me using Beyond 5 in a Row with his studies, he has to comprehend because of the simple fact I have lap books that I have incorporated with him for his reading literature, and notebooking pages. And for each assignment, each chapter that he reads, he has a lap book assignment and a comprehension worksheet. And now I know that he's actually getting something from his books that he's reading. I think he was reading just so he can work on his speed. He was doing more speed reading than he was actually doing reading comprehension. So I saw this, and of course I ordered it because I love Before 5 in a Row and 5 in a Row for my younger ones. So when I saw Beyond 5 in a Row, I didn't even realize they actually had a Beyond 5 in a Row. I said, you know what, I think I'm going to use this for him. And the first book that we're rowing for Beyond 5 in a Row is The Boxcar Children. And I remember this book, but I never read this book, and this is a classic. And so I figured he would love this, so we chose to do this book first in his book list. Now, also, like Before 5 in a Row and 5 in a Row, there are lessons, activities based on history and geography, science, fine arts, and things like that. And I'm only using this for literature and reading comprehension. That's it. I'm not doing any of the science because we already have a science that we're working on. We're doing unit studies and different things like that. And for history, we use Mystery of History, and I love Mystery of a History, and I'm not going to change right now. Another change that we've made basically for my daughter is I've added Leapfrog Letter Factory, and this is just to supplement her phonics lessons from the Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons that I'm already using for her for phonics instruction. And I love this DVD. I love it because it's a wonderful way to learn your phonics for each letter, and for her it actually enhances what she already knows. I think that's it. Oh, I also want to show you my organizational method for 5 in a Row. I am a independent representative with my 31 Gifts, and this is one of our organizational totes that we have. And on the inside of this tote, I have this wonderful file compartment that I just stick inside of this bag. That way I can have handles and I can carry it with me. And what I did was I took some file folders. Let me grab them out here so you can actually see them. I have some file folders here, and they're just different file folders in different colors. And I went and I labeled each week, whatever week we're working on. Like the first couple of file folders are for my 4-year-old son because we're doing a letter each week. And I go in and I print out the pages that I need. I stick them in each folder. And for my 5 in a Row studies, I have those back here. You can see these, and for each book that we're going to roll. So I actually separate everything out that way to help me stay more organized. I'm trying to work on staying more organized now. And that's it. That's all I have. I just wanted to kind of update you on what we were doing and some of the changes that we have made in our 2013-2014 homeschool year. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and peace and blessings. I will talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.